Love and happiness. Hey. I know y'all want to rock. Hey. You been sitting all day with someone. Yeah. Love and happiness. Oh, baby. Love and happiness. All right. I needed that. Well, good afternoon. Or is it evening yet? We've been here so long. Thank you for staying around. I have been known to be the last to get an award, to be the last to leave the church grounds, to be the last to leave the toy drives. So I'm all right being last. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful afternoon. I have come to this event for several years since your president, Rolanda Watts, first introduced me to this organization. And I have been coming ever since, and I always enjoy. I'm always inspired. I'm always uplifted. I'm always unmoved by my sisters and this organization. Though I'm not a Spelman graduate, I am a Spelman at heart. I'm an alumni at heart. I didn't go, but I have sponsored and given scholarships to over 10 students who have graduated from Spelman College. I'm proud to say that your last year, the commencement speaker was one of our scholarship recipients, the commencement speaker at Spelman. So I support Spelman. Congratulations to my fellow sister honorees. I salute each of you, and I am humbled to share this stage with you. I give much respect to our sister Vanessa Bell Calloway, who I've come to call as friend, and I thank you, Anna Maria, for that introduction. Though long, it's all right. We have created a great partnership between Spelman alumni here in Los Angeles and the Mablean Ephriam Foundation. We work together on so many community events, still uplifting our community. So Spelman president, all of you Spelman alumni know that your organization is still holding truth to its creed, yes. I want to thank my nephew, Mario, who's a Morehouse man, now serving as the Mablean Ephriam Foundation Executive Director because he nominated Maria to our board, and now she's working on the Mablean Ephriam Foundation, and we have a closer relationship. And I invite all of you to join us on June 15th and honor one of your fathers and bring them out to our scholarship and awards banquet. It's a time to show respect to the men in our lives and for families to join together and enjoy each other. I want to ask all of my fellow board members to stand and be recognized. I thank you for your service to me. It helps me be the person who I am today. Thank you. I want to especially acknowledge one of your Spelman alumni winners. Last year, I was at this luncheon, and you introduced and gave an award to Dr. Sophia Noble, and she's in the science and technology field. And when I read her bio, I was like, wow, that's a bad sister. I was just so impressed, and I went home telling everybody about her and singing her praises and talking about another person I had met and whom I admired, and I moved in July. Lo and behold, I live right across the street from her. So, true to form as a Spelman sister, when I'm unpacking, and she came home, she saw me out there unpacking and moving in, she walked across the street and introduced herself and said, "Are you our new neighbor? I'm Sophia Noble, this is my husband, this is my son," just like a sister should do, right? That was so sweet. So now we have a bond, and she's here celebrating with me today. Dr. Noble, thank you so much for coming. And being the person that I am, I was like, now wait a minute. I'm in a neighborhood, my trash can is all the way at the back of the house, and there's a gate there, and I gotta bring 3 cans out. My brother lives with me, he crippled, can't do anything, he can't bring these cans out. I don't like bringing cans out. I'm number 9 or 10 children, 5 brothers ahead of me. I've never taken a garbage can out. I don't know how to do all that stuff. Don't like doing it. I'm used to men doing those things growing up in my family. That's part of the roots. The men take out the garbage. I got to find somebody to help me. So I said to Sophia, I said, do you have any young children in your family? She said, yes. I said, really? She said, yes. I said, how old? She said, 13. I said, young man, yeah. Does he want to earn some money? I don't know. What you proposing? I said, can he pull my trash cans down every Sunday night for the garbage man to pick them up on Mondays and bring them back in? She says, oh, we'll make him do it. I said, no, you won't. I recall those days Mama made us do things for the neighbors. And the neighbors didn't respect us and didn't treat us right as children. And they thought we were their little slaves. I said, no way. I don't want you to make your child take my trash can out. I want to negotiate with him and offer him some money. She said, you don't have to pay him. I said, I don't have to pay him if he says I don't have to pay him. So bring him over. She brings Nico over. I said, Nico, want to make some money? He's smiling, just as sweet, just as humble. Cute little thing. He says, I guess. I said, you guess? I said, oh, that's right. Your parents have all the money. You don't really be worried about making money because you got scientists and your daddy working and, you in the best house. I said, I think you may want to make some money so you can have some for yourself after school. He said, okay, what you want me to do? I said, bring my trash cans down every Sunday night, bring them back in Monday. She said, okay. I said, how much you want to charge me? I don't know. I said, now, come on. When somebody makes you an offer and allows you to set the price, you have to set the price. I'm giving you an opportunity to say what you want. Now, I didn't say I was going to pay you what you say, but I'm giving you an opportunity to say what you want. So he said, 5. I said, what about 10? Okay. So for $10 every week, he makes this little money and takes my trash out. That's what you call sisterhood. That's what you call roots. That's what you call working together. That's what you call love of community. And I am so honored to do that for him, although sometimes I have to stop his daddy from trying to take his money. So, speaking of roots, resilience, and radiance, I am here today, standing before you, able to accept this award for an advocate for justice because of my roots. My roots began with parents who believed that you should work hard, that you should tell the truth, that you should be on time, that you should not cause the teachers any problems, that you should do as you're told, that you should ask questions but not ever disrespect an adult. So all of my life, I have been told that I could be whatever it was that I wanted to be, and because I talked so much, even as a child, and I had one of those fathers, and I grew up in the 50, that era. The era I grew up in, children were seen and not heard. I didn't learn that adage. I was heard and seen. So I talked and I spoke up to my father, and they couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't know if I want something from him. I got to talk. So when I wanted some money, I'd go ask Daddy. When my other sisters and brothers wanted money, they didn't want to ask Daddy. So I've been an advocate for years. They go ask Daddy for us. Why they didn't want to ask Daddy? Because Daddy going to ask a million questions. Why you want this money? It's just a nickel, Daddy. Why you want it? What'd you do with the last nickel I gave you? What you going to do with this nickel? When you going to ask me for another nickel? When you going to go earn your own nickel? I was like, Daddy, it's just a nickel. But I had to answer all of those questions. So I stood there and answered every question he asked, and I got my nickel. So then my sisters and brothers wanted to use me to get their nickel. Well, I didn't mind doing that, but if they got a nickel, they had to give me a part of that nickel because I was negotiating for them. So I've been an advocate and a negotiator for a long time. So that's where my training began, but I also want to honor my roots because they're here today, some of them, and they have always supported me. Family is so important, and the breakdown of family breaks my heart today. When I see that some of us have made it, and we're glad that we made it, and we don't want to reach back and help that sister and brother or that cousin or that niece or that nephew who hasn't. When I see people who have these big homes and their family members don't have any place to live, you won't offer them a place to live, you won't offer them a bite to eat, and all of this discord and hatred among families and the killing among families, it just breaks my heart. And I'm just so thankful to God that my roots are such that we have not experienced that. We've just experienced love. We argue like cats and dogs. We'll yell at each other, but we won't shoot, we won't cut, we won't stab, we won't hurt each other. And if you ask for something to eat after I've cut you, I'll give it to you. So I thank God for my family is here today, starting with my eldest sister, who's now the matriarch of the family. I have nieces, I have nephews, I have great nieces, great nephews who have gone down the generation. But I want to specifically call out my great niece, who's 15 years old, who will be one of Spelman's alumni, hopefully. But if not, I'm glad for the opportunity to introduce her to all of you. Stand up, Nyla. Thank you so much. Uh-oh. Ooh, 17, and her name is Nala. Now you see, Roots, speaking up, advocating for herself. Thank you very much. I apologize. And I am blessed not just by my biological family, but my church family is here today. Some of them who saw me grow up as a little girl, who spoke words to me, who helped me, who taught me. And I certainly appreciate them because I could not have made it without the extended family of the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. Would you please stand? And some of my current church family members from the West Angeles Church of God in Christ. Would you please stand? These people have nurtured me and love me and support me, and without them, I could not accept this award because I probably could have been in jail, because there were times when I spoke up that I didn't know how to speak up. I didn't know when to speak up, and sometimes that can get you in trouble. But having people around you who say, yes, you have a voice, and yes, you have something to say, and yes, you want to do an argument over something, but you have to learn how to do it, when to do it, and where to do it. So my parents and family encouraged me to be a lawyer because they said I would argue with the signpost. But I said I would argue with my father. And if I would debate with my father, I could debate with anybody else. I had no fear of anyone else. When I was up against my colleagues, especially the male colleagues who tried to bully me when we were negotiating and discussing settlement, and some of them would get in your face and get tough, I look at them and laugh. And they say, why are you laughing? I said, honey, my daddy's name was Robert T. And you don't have anything on Robert T. And if I stood up to Robert T., I'm not thinking about you. You do not scare me one bit. And that was a position I took with attorneys, with judges, and with anyone else who tried to bully me. I stood up to Robert T. I'm a bad woman. Resilience. There were times when when I wanted to go to law school, I didn't have the money to go straight to law school. I married, I had a family. I couldn't go straight to law school. I had to work 8 hours a day, go home and take care of the children. But I got admitted to law school, and I got admitted to law school not because of my grades, not because of my intellect, but because of my resilience. I refused to accept no when the admissions committee at Beverly Rubin School of Law at that particular time denied my acceptance. I appealed my denial, and then the owner, Beverly Rubens herself, took me into a personal interview, and she accepted me and rescinded the order of the committee that I should not be accepted. So you have to stand up for what you believe in. You have to stand up for what you want to do. And after getting into law school, it wasn't easy because I was married with those children and the father wasn't the greatest husband. I went to law school for my first exam, having a domestic violence argument and fight for my first exam. Went in crying, just shaking, asked the professor, could I take the exam later? Would he allow me to do it later? He said, no, you probably shouldn't have come. It seems like you took on too much, and we didn't want to admit you anyway. That professor happened to have been one of the persons on the committee that denied my admission. We told Ms. Rubens that you didn't belong and it was too much for you, so you shouldn't have come. So no, I'm not going to allow you to take this exam later. You're going to take it tonight. I said, no problem. Give me the paper. No problem. Give me the paper. I typed my exams, and I typed it and came out with a B. It had some teardrops on it. It had some wet pages on it, but I passed the exam. Resilience. Don't give up. For the work that I've done in law and the advocacy that I've done, I haven't done it by myself, and I see some of my fellow colleagues here. They're here with me today supporting me. Ms. Katie Trotter, I'm not going to call all the names. I see the Harriet Buhai Center, my co-founder, Patsy Ostroy. All of you stand up, my fellow lawyers, fellow colleagues in the law. Judge Patty Titus, aren't you my fellow colleague? You're not at my table, stand up. Thank you so much for all of your love and all of your support. And today, I still am advocating, and I need all of you to learn to advocate and to do so in your own way. We are against tough times, but in tough times, we get tougher, right? We don't give up. As I tell my children, we've been down this road before. It wasn't me personally, it was my great-grandmother, it was my grandmother, it was my mother. They've had these arguments over whether they should have Social Security or whether they should have any type of benefits for older people. They've had these arguments over whether someone else should provide for education or whether I should have gotten an education. Yes, I got an education under affirmative action, and I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter how you got it, it doesn't matter how you got in and you got out. And I would say it to them when you're just here because of affirmative action. I said, that may be how I got accepted. That may be how the money is being paid, but I'm here because I'm smart and because I'm intelligent, because I'm bright, because I study hard, and because I know what I'm doing. And I'm here because I'm just as bright as you, but you haven't given all of us the same opportunity. And now they realize that once they gave us the opportunity, that we knocked down walls and we broke down doors. And now they want to close them up again. But we understand that we's still climbing. Life for me ain't been no crystal stairs, but I still climbing. And I need all of you to say that we will not take down, we will not give up. I know parents who say sometimes when they're making money, they don't want to pay for their children to go to college. But if you have to huck the house and pay and get an equity loan, whatever you need to do, don't you dare deny your children the right to college. And for those children who want to go to college and are afraid that dismantling the Department of Education will prevent them from getting funds, let me tell you about a man I serve. If you want to go to college, don't you dare think anything else. You will go. You will get there. The people in this room and the people outside of this room, people whom you don't even know, eyes haven't seen it, ears haven't heard, people you never dreamed of are going to help you. You just keep your eyes on the prize and get yourself prepared to go and do what you're supposed to do. For those of you who've lost jobs and have family members who've lost jobs and been fired, we were told years, go get a job in the federal government. Go get a good government job in federal government, state government, city government. Get a good government job as black people. Most of us in the generations before us, that's how they were able to buy their homes. They had a post office job. They had a train, working for the train, and they were working in good government jobs. And now they just fired all of those people who got the good government jobs. But don't fear. Whatever we do, we can't lose hope, and we can't be afraid. Pay pay $5. You got to donate to these campaigns. $5, $10, $25, $30. It takes money. Trump is in there because Musk gave him money, $8 million. So we have to give up some money too to try to get people elected that we want to be elected, get legislators who are going to fight for us. So donate the dollars that you have. We found out under Obama that every dollar counts. So donate. Write your letters to your senators and to your congressional people. I can't believe that all of those people are sitting there and none of them have the guts to stand up. Call them out. Call them out. We elected you, not Musk. We elected you, not Trump. We elected you. We walked those precincts. We made those telephone calls. We gave those money. You promised us, your citizens, certain things that you would protect our rights. You would protect our interests. You would protect our liberties and hold them to it. Hold them to it. Don't be afraid. Fight for what's right. Radiance. Can't smile always, but I try. They told me that a smile is much better than a frown, and it takes less energy and you use fewer muscles to smile than to frown. So in the face of adversity, young people, old people, whoever you are, smile. You heard that song by Kirk Franklin, smile. Whatever you're doing, just smile. Keep holding your head up high. And this is the time, if never before, that we must not let down and we must not walk around going crazy. We must not give up. We must not, just be mad and do nothing, but we've got to stand together. Stand together and start in your families. Then start with your neighbor in your neighborhoods, and then take it on to the city council, then go on up to the state and then to the national government. Thank you so much. As long as I live and breathe, I will fight for justice.